This video builds on the powder coating pistol bullets video, and you should watch that first if you are a novice. I had to build a special jig for rifle bullets because they'll fall over. They're not like the pistol bullets. You can't just stand them up and balance them. It's just not practical. And so the size of the reduced portion of the bullet for where the gas check area is about 9/32. It's like .284 or something. I'm just kind of ballparking it there, but I found that a 9/32 drill bit was the right size so that those rifle bullets will snap right into that hole. So like with the pistol bullets, I need to use tin foil to get the electrical connection for the electrostatic part of the spraying, but I have to kind of push them through. That's why I'm kind of pushing down on the foil there, so I can see where the holes are. So I'll rub it with my thumb or my finger, and then I can see where the hole is, and then punch it through the tin foil. Doing it this way, I haven't been able to figure out how to get multiple uses out of the tin foil because it just gets too shredded. But here you go. Here's the result. I can tilt these bullets whichever way. I could almost turn them upside down, and not even all of them would fall out. I'm sure a few would, but and just by comparison, I'll set one up here in the corner, and you can see that, and this is just one, but if you just slightly tilt it, it falls over. And imagine if those are all carefully balanced, you'd knock over a bunch of them like dominoes. So that's not the way to go. So now I can easily carry these with confidence out to the spray area, and I'll just spray these like I did the pistol bullets. I'm wearing my mask. You don't ever want to spray this without a mask. And it takes me a little bit longer to spray the rifle bullets. They're taller. Even though they're spaced nicely, I don't know, for some reason it just seems like I gotta spray them longer to get them in there. So here I'm done spraying them. I cut that clip because you don't need to see it again. And I'm going to pop them in the oven. And again, Harbor Freight red powder coat, which this is 400 degrees. I'm using it for 15 minutes. Some people say 20 is necessary, but I'm good with 15. I've had good success. So that was 15 minutes. I'll pop them out. And if you don't mind, I'll just pop in some pistol bullets I did while I was waiting. While I'm out here, I like to make the best use of my time, so I like to always have a batch going if I can. And I'll bring these in. And again, they're hot and they're cooling down. And with the rifle bullets, I've found, because they're punched into that tin foil, you can't just pop them off. You kind of gotta pull them out gingerly. And if you're trying to reuse the tin foil, you gotta be pretty careful. So you can see that the powder coat's still a little soft, and the flashing is kind of flexible there, and it tore up that tin foil pretty good. A little chunk out of it. Of course, that happened when I punched it in, but still, you can see it's there. It tore off a little bit of the tin foil with it. Well, that's no big deal for the bullets, but just trying to make use of the tin foil as best you can. I was trying to find a way to reuse it, but I'm going to wait for these to cool down a little more so it's easier to peel off. So now they've cooled for just a couple minutes, and now when I pop them off, the flashing's hard, the whole powder coating's hard, and that'll come right off in the sizer. So you can see that by pushing them in there, you haven't coated the bottom, and that's what you want, because you don't want the bottoms coated for when you go to put gas checks on, because your gas checks are designed to fit this style bullet. And by the way, this is the Lyman 314-299, which means it should cast at 314 diameter, and it's a 200 grain bullet. And I use this for all my 30 cals because I can size them down for 308, or I can use them for my Lee Enfield or anything in between. So it's a good bullet. So here I've pulled them all out, and I tried brushing it off. I tried picking it off. The tinfoil is just a little too brittle after being cooked so many times. But I've used this tinfoil 3 or 4 times already. So yeah, this just isn't going to happen. I'm not going to peel it off like I did in the other episode. But I have an idea. Flip it over and use it once more, maybe. So Okay, here I am back at the reloading bench, and I'm measuring the bullets to see how thick they are coming out. And that one's like around 313. It goes all the way up to like 316. And that one's about the same, pretty thick. You measure the gas check portion, that's what, like 0.283, 284, something like that. And that is the size that those gas checks are designed to be. And so you just, if you haven't done this before, you just pop the gas check on with your finger. It kind of snaps on, stays on there, but it needs to be sized still to really stay on. So that measures 0.320. So obviously it needs to be sized, and when you size it down, it'll really crimp on there on the base. And I'm running this through a 311 sizer die, which is sort of an intermediate size. Normally I would size these at 314 and size them down to like 309 for maybe like 30-06 or whatever I'm going to load these in. But I figured that 311 would be okay. I'm kind of having to put some medium pressure on that, but it's okay. I mean, and if you have ever read lead through your sizer die, when you first push them through, it's going to look like you scrape the coating off. But if you see, just rubbing that off, it's just a residue left from the previous bullets. So actually, that bullet looks really good. The coating didn't come off at all. There's a little gap between the gas check and the bottom of the gas check area where it was pushed in, but that's a good bullet. Right after this, I had to like beat this one through because it was way oversized, and this is not rubbing off. This is I've removed the coating there, pushing it through the die. I really had to push it hard to get through there. So it looks like I bit off a little more than I could chew. So I'm going to switch to the 314 die, and this will help me install the gas checks. Maybe just round up the bullets, and then I can size them down from there. So from here, going from 314 to 311 is no big deal, but that last bullet might have been 0.320, you know, with a thick coating, and that really caused a problem. But so with rifle, you might have to have multiple sizes depending on the die or the mold you're using. You know, you could start if you're never going to shoot, you know, anything but 308 or 30-06. You could do the Lyman, I think it's the 309, what is it, 309-299 or something like that. And that'll put them more in the ballpark. So here I've made a dummy cartridge, and I've shown you that if you don't bell your cases like you do with pistol, you can still scrape off the coating. So that was the bullet that was kind of messed up from before, so it'll be alright. And so the Lyman book is nice because I'm using a Lyman mold. There it is, 314-299, and this tells me my seating depth that I want to use. This tells me basically a depth that I should aim for, which in this case is exactly 3 1/4 inches, 3.250, and so that's close enough. And so I wanted to show you the solution to that scraping off the coating there, like you see I'm pointing to, is this Lee Universal die, or excuse me, Universal expanding die, and you can use that, again, it's universal, and I use that for anytime I'm loading cast bullets in anything other than pistol. Obviously pistols have their own belling die, so that's a good solution, and that'll keep you from scraping off the coating. The last thing I wanted to show you was on some guns, especially with this mold, because the bearing surface on the bullet, they call it a bore rider, and the forward part of the bullet actually rides on the rifling, not just the driving bands. And so I wanted to show you that sometimes you can get these bullets because you're adding thickness to that portion of the bullet. You can get it stuck in the lands. So it doesn't look like it's happening in this rifle, but be aware of that. And thanks for watching.